So moving on to our next keynote speaker, we have Talgat Takiyev, the Head of Investor Relations at Longevity Financial Advisors. Talgat is a financial professional with deep expertise in investor relations, corporate management, and business development strategy. Prior to joining, he had worked for asset management companies and family offices in the UK and also in Switzerland, and also an investment banking boutique in New York. Talgat holds a master's degree in management from Imperial College Business School as well. Talgat, it's lovely to meet you, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Lovely to meet you. Roxy, thank you very much for the introduction. It's a great pleasure and honor to speak today. And today the topic of my presentation is commoditization of biotech and the deep tech. Commoditization of deep tech and biotech in the global marketplace. Let's start with the common overall ground of where we are at the moment. So tech is entering a new era, and it's truly so, as you can see straight away from the table. From 1990, the Nasdaq Composite Dynamics has been rising steadily, but between 2010 2020, you see a rapid growth in value. Actually, on the Nasdaq alone, the last decade has created 16 trillion in value. And the primary cause of that was enterprise cloud and consumer internet solutions. And for the past 10 years, the rise has been enormous, I would say, and it's because the period of from launching and to generating commercial success has become smaller, because there are more and more companies getting to the market. And so we see a rapid rise. And especially it will be a case with deep tech, because in the next couple of years, deep tech will give birth to many new companies, many new breakthrough solutions. And we'll see similar growth, I would say, that happened between 2010 2020. I would say we will see at least similar growth between 2020 and 2030. Everyone knows BioNTech, especially after the COVID period. And here I would like to show you the success of BioNTech. The company actually was founded long before, in 2008. It's a German biotechnology company that develops pharmaceuticals candidates based on messenger ribonucleic acid for use as individualized cancer immunotherapies. And the company raised 150 million during the Nasdaq IPO and listed at a market capitalization of 3.5 billion, sequentially increasing to 7.5 billion in early 2020. And look at the staggering peak it reached in 2021, 113 billion in August. Subsequently, actually, it has declined as well, quite rapidly to 40 billion. But I guess it was this rise was probably because it happened during the peak of the pandemic. And now that the world has already come down and I would say came back to normal from the post-COVID situation. So the market capitalization of the company went down. But as you can see, the company had a quite, I would say, during this smaller period, it had quite a staggering rise. So this is what we see with the biotech and deep tech companies these days. So what we can see here actually is how they can rapidly create this huge capitalizations and can affect markets. Let's see the numbers of the combined value of European founded deep tech companies. As you can see, between 2010 and 2021, we had a huge uprise from 143 billion to 845 billion in just 10 years, which is quite a small period in the business world, but as I have already stated, the deep tech and the biotech industries, they move really, really quickly nowadays. Actually, on the bottom of the slide, you can see notable deep tech companies that were created since 2000 and before 2000. Some of these companies are household names, and some of them you know very well. Let's talk about Europe. In Europe's top academic institutions, there is actually untapped potential because deep tech companies in Europe are now worth a total of more than 800 billion euros, as we've seen in the previous slide. Many have academic backgrounds and received early funding from the government. And universities and research in Europe are truly world-class. As we know, like one of the best academies in the world are located in Europe, which actually helps to develop deep tech on the continent. And to support Europe's most promising deep tech startups, closer collaboration is necessary. Some of the most successful businesses will be able to break down barriers by integrating disciplines and attracting a diverse range of talent and investors at various stages of development. And to assist such companies prosper and scale, universities, governments, specialized deep tech investors, and venture capital investors should collaborate more closely. And the third point is bottom-up streamlining and top-down strategic thinking are required in the coming decade. And biotech's success demonstrates that early government and university support truly helps truly recruit Europe's finest talents. And such initiatives must be streamlined from bottom to up. And meanwhile, Europe may benefit from imitating some of US and China's large-scale, long-term strategic R&D techniques. Let's actually look at the cash burn in different types of startups. This very interesting slide. So from your left, you can see regular startup cash burn from the seed stage to early and late stages. And most of the regular startups, they utilize cutting edge but proven technology. And successful startups can confirm product market fit as soon as possible. And patents and R&D are uncommon. This is why they can get to the market much quicker than actually deep tech startups and biotech startups. With deep tech startups, they have lengthy R&D phase. As you can see, they have to test multiple times their products. And they also need a greater proportion of technical personnel, which is not easy to find. And hardware IP are frequently used. At the same time, discovery phase is getting shorter and market risks are lower with biotech startups. Let's see what the industry needs to accelerate this progress. First, it's breeding ground universities. Universities are birthplace of many deep tech enterprises in which universities hold equity and royalties. Government sponsorship is also very important. There are multiple initiatives right now, especially in Europe, like Horizon Europe, 7-year US research and innovation funding program with quite a big budget of 100 billion euros. Corporations invest capital in deep tech and biotech research and development. And this amount of 150 billion actually represents the yearly European business R&D expenditure to enable growth and ensure bright future. And in terms of venture investments, 10 billion euros per year. So deep tech startups receive almost a quarter of VC funding in Europe. And this number almost tripled in the last 5 years, which shows us that investors, especially private investors, see deep tech and biotech as the next big thing. And they take advantage of the contemporary market opportunities, and they support early stage technology to uncover breakthroughs and advance the ecosystem. It's also possible that deep tech startups have higher chances for exit. If you can see from the table on your right side, in the middle, tech startups, they have 15% of chance on the round fifth and the biotech startups have approximately similar chances, but deep tech has 17% chances, which is great. And deep tech startups, the technology, they provide attractive acquisition target for companies with existing large data sets or virtually unlimited capital to incur losses. And there have been several notable exits. And from on the left side, you can see some deep tech companies. Maybe you heard about them, and you can see a deal description, the activity. And as you can see, for example, with the first company acquired by Meta for $100 million in 2022. And like, as you can see, the acquisition amounts are quite big. So which tells us that deep tech and biotech startups are progressing real well. They're getting noticed by big companies. And these kind of examples can stimulate many more potential engineers and biotech founders to get to the market. Deep tech funding in Europe hit record heights in 2021. Yes, as you can see, during the last 5 years, the rise has been quite staggering, from 5 billion 2016 to 19 billion to 2021, more than 2 times. And this is more than double. And on your left side, you can see notable deep tech investors by capital deployed in Europe. These are actually household names, which again shows that big venture funds like Balderton Capital, which are quite big in London, SoftBank, Index Ventures, and they invest heavily in deep tech and biotech. And this shows us that we are already at the stage of the rapid commoditization of the industries. Let's see venture capital investments in deep tech by destination. First, let's see US. Actually, 2021 was a bit smaller than the previous year, 2020. Again, it might be connected to the challenges in the last couple of years. As we can see, US is a major investor in the industry. Europe is less, 20 billion 2021, and the projected amount will be 22. It is smaller than US, but if you actually look at the trend, it's definitely rising, and rising quite fast. And China also invests similar amounts to Europe, I would say. But at the moment, government started more programs to increase its investment. And it is said to be investing $10 billion in quantum computing and artificial intelligence center. So as we can see, in terms of destinations, Europe and China are quite on the same level, but US are definitely ahead at the moment. Europe is a powerful science hub. Yes, this is true. If you can see at the statistics, highly scientific publications by regions, Europe are well ahead. Second comes China, and the third comes US. China and US actually have a similar statistics, and UK is 10%. And definitely, if Europe and UK are well ahead of other destinations. And top 5 countries by number of STEM graduates per 1,000 inhabitants, if you can see all the European countries. Ireland is a leading hub of graduates in STEM. Yes, and to conclude, it's time to build an effective deep tech strategy, which is important for the whole ecosystem, important for investors, and important for startups to be on one page and to have a common focus. So curing diseases, improving healthcare will definitely get much and much important. Food security, global warming, and industry transformation. And as you can see, to have a successful deep tech strategy, must focus not only on technology, but also on a commercial success or creating product that people will actually want to use. And deep tech startups have the potential to solve global challenges by utilizing technologies with such enormous transformational power, which we already saw with the success of bio and tech during the COVID era. And we'll see many more examples. This is the last slide of my presentations. I hope you liked it, and I would be happy to answer possible questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Talgat. I think we more than liked it. It was a fantastic presentation. Thank you so much. And
thank you, Roxy. Thank you, everyone.
For sure, it will be included in the recording afterwards as well.